everybody. Welcome to 500 Open Tabs. I'm Kaveh Taherian.
And I'm Hannah Hillam. And we're coming back at you with our 89th installment of this show.
Goodness. The amount of episodes that we have is the age I feel on the inside and outside of my body.
Yeah, you're falling apart like an 89-year-old.
Listen, an unhealthy 89-year-old, not like William Shatner, who's like still kicking and doing well. She's older. He's like 93 now or something.
He's like 90-something. Dude, when I saw him in person, I was like, that man is 70 now.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Looking good.
Genes or whatever.
It's all that doom scrolling that he was doing. Shout out to Will.
We just watched some doom scroll the whole time. I remember looking over and I'm like, dude is fully on Apple News, just fully scrolling.
Going for it. Listen,
okay.
Bill, don't do it. It's not helpful. It's not healthy. It's just going to make you feel worse.
But hey, he'd rather do that than talk to people in the same room as him, which I get.
He's getting paid to talk to people, so I understand that he's like, I'm on my break. I don't want to talk to people because that's literally my job.
Yeah, it's where it's just like, don't talk to me.
Yeah, don't talk to me. I'm eating. It's like a Carl's Jr. commercial back there.
That's right. I forgot all about that commercial.
Here we are shouting out a convention from a month ago and a commercial from 20 years ago now. 15. What are we talking about? It's 2025.
What if we're just like being escorted around a rest home right now? Like, okay, go do your podcast.
Sometimes I worry that's the more and more stuff that I think I was telling you about this, where it's like the past couple conventions that we've been to are all my originals. It's like people will just walk by and then it's the person with like all white hair and they're like pushing 60 who's like, oh my God, this is amazing. And like, I love them, but I'm also like, I might have like overdone it and like catered to a very specific audience of over 55 years old. Maybe I should diversify.
Die at some point, and I will have to redo my whole demographic. That's what I was trying to say. A demographic.
Anyway, it's not an either or situation. It's just like I think I've overly catered to one end, and I need to scale it back a little bit.
To people who were 30 in 1990, yeah.
It really we've become our parents. It's like time stops mattering after a certain point, and you just have no. And you're like, yeah, 2005 was like 5 years. It's 20 years ago. Yeah.
Oh.
Idiots.
Oh, I saw something that was like Lord of the Rings 25th anniversry is coming out.
Oh yeah.
I was like, cool, kill me, put me in the ground. That is devastating.
Yes, indeedy.
Yes, indeedy. Neighborini.
Neighborino.
Well, yeah, Neighborino, not Neighborini. It's not a panini. Ned Flanders panini. That's what I pictured just now. Well, welcome everybody. Should we get going on our tabs, our chosen obsessions this week?
Yeah, after that incredible introduction talking about how like we're 1,000 years old.
We're never going to get better at the introduction, and so we should just
or the
stop
exit
trying.
Or the middle part or like any of the podcasts really, or the reels or the thumbnails or the shorts that we make or the tabs or the scripts or the talking with people in real life when they come to a convention, they tell us that they like the show. Like
and we're like,
none of it. Yeah, we're like, why would you like this podcast?
Well, people are always like, I love this. I fall asleep to it. I'm like, well, thank
May
you.
I ask
go
why?
Away, and I'm like, what a psychopath.
Why would they ever listen to us?
And then we're like, but please listen to us.
Please listen to us. But why?
Listen to us, but don't respect us. Okay? That's all I ask.
Man.
That's, yeah.
What a time. What a week. What a crazy period of life to be existing in. It's awful. Everything is so stupid.
So dumb.
No, I think all you need to know is we live in a time where everything is incentivized to be as stupid as possible.
Yeah.
But like not in the fun,
angry.
stupid way,
No.
like in the bad, evil, stupid way.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I got to be honest with you, just like real talk. I thought that these kinds of things would happen, like the backslide into everything terrible that's happening. I just didn't think it would be this stupid. But I feel like in history, this might be the stupidest instance of it.
The stupidest slide into fascism ever? Yeah.
It's so dumb.
It's so dorky
dumb
and stupid.
Yeah, dorky is a good word.
AI? Oh, goober dweebs. Bunch of dweebs with AI. And it's like, this is what it looks like?
This is what it looks like.
We don't even get... We need... we need better fascists.
We need a better slide into fascism. These fascists aren't worth my time. These fascists are mid. Go back.
Like, these people are so lame.
Basic.
I can't believe I have to
Go
fight
back and do another draft.
A bunch of dweebs in red hats and khakis who like
what is this brainstorming like post-it note shit that you've tacked onto the wall that you refer to as fascism? This is stupid.
It's so cheap. It's bargain bin.
It's lazy. It's lazy.
It's garage sale. It's not even garage sale fascism. It's like putting things on the street for people to take for free fascism. Actually, I love street scoring. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, how dare you lump them in together?
That's like a true communal activity, and I take it all back. So,
yeah. Anyway,
we always say, should we give this to the street? Instead of saying, should we take this to Goodwill?
Should we keep it in the sheets or should we give it to the streets?
No, we're like, give it to the street. And so we just go put stuff on the... Anyway, doesn't matter. Cool. You're going first this week, right?
I believe I am, because I don't remember the last thing that we recorded. But according to the notes, I'm going first.
Yeah, it was last week I talked about just horrific things that made everybody want to throw up. You were like, how do I transition?
That's talking about a lady who rode a horse and tried to warn people about the British. Anyway, so on to my tab.
What do you got? What do you have?
So
take me away from this world, okay?
Okay.
For a minute.
I'll try. So this is a tab that sparked my interest as I was doing all of the sushi row stuff from a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah.
And if you haven't listened to those ones yet, I recommend doing so because, you know what? I tried my best. Hopefully
you did great.
Hopefully people enjoyed it. But of course, as you probably remember, every 4 minutes, the story was like, and then this person got taken to an internment camp and everything went to shit over and over again. So I had to stay focused, of course, on like rice strain variants and all that. But it's crucial to the last couple tabs. But as I was glossing over some of the internment camp history, I came across something that I thought was really interesting and I'd never heard of. And I wanted to do an offshoot tab about it. And
offshoot.
It begins with a guy named Dan Kwong.
Dan Kwong. Okay.
Correct. Dan Kwong is, like me, a Renaissance man. He is a performance artist, a playwright, a director, a documentarian.
Whoa.
But, yeah, a lot of things. But unlike me, Dan has actually succeeded in several of his endeavors.
Hey, look. You could still become a playwright.
That's true. I did think about writing plays. I think I could do it.
I think you could do it easily. It's like pretty much writing comics, but without pictures.
I guess it's true. It's just a play. Yeah. And plays are way more dialogue than films are. So you could just you don't have to edit anything. You just be like, oh, hey, I'm in a play. Look at me. I'm waiting for Godot. Oh, I'm also waiting for Godot. But I'm having dinner with Andre.
We're all here waiting for Godot.
Godot is never going to show up, you guys. Oh my God, what's happening? Anyway, incredible playwright, Caveman. That's my first one. It's going to be called Waiting for Godot. A play that already exists.
I used AI to write another play. What if there was a play called Waiting for Godot, but it was about Gal Gadot? Here, ChatGPT, write me this.
And nobody's waiting for her.
I'm a creator now because I put it into ChatGPT.
Look at me. I fed some words into a machine. And now I'm a creator. I'm an artist and a writer.
I'm going to have a podcast explain what it is without actually talking about any of it. Hey, ChatGPT, generate an AI podcast where someone talks about the process of writing.
You know what? AI could never create whatever it is we are, okay?
Yes. It couldn't get this authentic human experience here.
Of us, just yelling about AI.
Screaming about AI. Anyway, okay, so moving on. Dan Kwong, he's our boy. Dan was born in 1954 to a Chinese father and a Japanese mother and grew up in Silver Lake before it was overrun with hipster scum bros. So like already this guy... he's going to be thinking outside the box. This is like a very unique situation because back then that was absolutely not a typical pairing of like a Chinese father and a Japanese mother, specifically like in LA. Like, it's very LA, I feel like. And also atypical for Dan was his mother, who was named Momo Nagano, and she was born in 1925 in Los Angeles. Her parents, who had immigrated from Hokkaido, leased farmland and sold produce at the local wholesale market. And after Pearl Harbor, fill in the Mad Libs blanks, her father was deemed a dangerous enemy alien and taken into custody by the FBI. And a few months later, the rest of the family got to join him. Same thing over and over again that we
interned. Yeah.
So this, of course, unfortunately, was not out of the ordinary. And in total, around 120,000 Japanese Americans living on the U.S. mainland were forcibly relocated to holding centers starting in like 1942, right after Pearl Harbor.
Right.
2/3 of them, roughly, were actually born in the United States, too. So we're vast majority. And what was different, though, about Momo was that she had no problem talking about it, which apparently wasn't so much a thing amongst most people of that generation.
Right.
There was a lot of feelings of like shame attached to that experience. And, of course, not everybody, but a lot of people were like, they chose to kind of just lock it up and push forward and move on after it was done. They didn't want to talk about it. They didn't want to, which is, speaking of
Classic.
parents, immigrant parents or, families who came from overseas, it's not uncommon I'm not surprised by that.
Right. Not at all.
The pain's too great. And it's not like the US was like, hey, sorry about the whole concentration camp thing. Here's the number for a mental health professional that you can talk to anytime to sort it all out. We're here for you. I think
this was in prime lobotomy days too. So
and honestly, yes.
We weren't great at mental health or anything really.
No, and not only that, I think most, non-Japanese American citizens were also sort of like, we won World War II. We don't want to hear about anything bad that we've done. Like, it's going to harsh our buzz. So it's not like they're coming out and people are like, are you okay? People are like, nope, we're just going to move forward because we won World War II and everything's great and it's fine. And we beat the Nazis and now we got to fight the Soviets. And so it's all...
Yeah.
Listen, great job, everybody. Let's all go back to the 1950s. This sounds tremendous.
I think that was the best time of our whole country's existence. Yeah.
Incredible.
And we were at our best.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just so it's like half cultural, I guess, half just they don't want to deal with it. And then half like the broader American culture is just not giving anybody any opportunity to do that.
There's no place for it. No one's giving them any respite.
Not every single person, obviously, but
yeah,
I think at least initially.
No. We actually generalize on this podcast, so every single person. All right. I don't know if you guys know this, but we generalize everything.
Super generalizers. Right. Anyway, so Dan, that wasn't his experience. He grew up hearing what life was like all the time from Momo. She didn't shy away from any of it, and she shared her experiences with the National Park's Oral History Archives, and she even corresponded with high schoolers learning about this whole shit-stained chapter of America. Like, she was very vocal about it. She was very open. She did everything she could. Yeah, it's a really cool...
Not nothing. That is really hard to do.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's another thing to remember is like, it's one thing to be like, we don't want to talk about it because it's painful, right? People don't want to necessarily relive these horrific experiences that they've had. Of course, I'm just going to sort of do some recap stuff, but like, hundreds of thousands of Japanese Americans were stripped of their property and sent to live in barracks inside barbed wire, surrounded by armed guards. It was basically like a prison. And in total, there were 10 internment camps, 2 of which were in California. And I was wondering too, as I was reading about this, is like, how do you sort them? How do you decide who goes where?
Yeah.
Which one would you get sent to? And the internees were required to fill out this insane questionnaire that I encourage everybody to look up. Have you heard of this before?
No, I have not.
It's called they refer to it as like the loyalty questionnaire.
Should I look it up?
Here, I'm just going to send you one picture from it.
Okay.
So it's just like a straight up like government piece of paperwork.
Yeah. Where are you born? Your address, your last addresses? Are you married? Citizenship of your wife, race of your wife. Yeah. Oh.
This is the first page of it.
Yeah. Okay. So list all your relatives. Yikes. In the military. It's just like a government standard, but with
it's heinous and probably as long as you can probably imagine.
I just realized it's called Statement of United States Citizen of Japanese Ancestry. So it just straight up says citizen, United States citizen.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, hey, by the way, we're acknowledging you're a citizen and that you are Japanese ancestry, and that is why we're doing this to you. That's insane.
So the questionnaire keeps going, and I'm going to read this to you, but just so you can sort of see it on the paper. But there were 2 questions that were on this questionnaire that seemed to cause the most confusion, both in terms of how you're even supposed to answer them, because what does it matter anyway? Because the War Relocation Authority will just do whatever it wants. But also, they're not really well constructed and they don't make sense. And they sort of seem like they're setting you up for like a pitfall. It's questions 27 and 28. And 27 was, are you willing to serve in the armed forces of the United States on combat duty wherever ordered? And 28 was, will you swear unqualified allegiance to the United States of America and faithfully defend the United States from any or all attack by foreign or domestic forces, and forswear any form of allegiance or obedience to the Japanese emperor or any other foreign government, power, or organization? So in short, are you loyal to America, and would you fight for this country unconditionally?
Would you die for us?
Yes. And unsurprisingly, this basically was like, it gave people a lot of split answers, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
some
You
people
can be
want to
loyal but not fight. Like,
right.
what?
What you're
Okay,
experiencing
yeah.
is something that people in the wartime what was it, the war authority were like, I can't think through that because they're too busy thinking about other stuff. But some people, they wanted to prove
Jeez.
their loyalty to defend America. They're like, yes and yes, I'm gonna do it, I'm signing up.
Yeah.
Others wanted nothing to do with a country that would treat its citizens like that and how
Right.
they'd been treated. Others were like, what the hell? I have kids. I can't just like get sent to war. Like, what the hell is going to happen with them?
The logistics of these questions make no sense.
Yeah. And then also you're like, well, I'm a Japanese citizen and the Japanese emperor. And I was like from Japan. And then like, you're supposed to sort of swear allegiance to the emperor, but also that's just sort of like culture. And so everyone was like, what? Like they kind of didn't know what the best there was. But that's the whole point. It's like, it's set up to basically make you either like you're a sycophant or you're not. Mm-hmm. But again, even if you did answer as a sycophant, you still got taken away to an internment camp. So it's all horse shit anyway.
You just end in the same place. But now they have this on record that you say one thing or the other. They can use it against you whenever they want. So yeah, great.
Yes. So as such, the questionnaire broke up families and friendships, sending people to different camps based on their answers. So if you answered no and no, you went to Tula Lake near the Oregon border. But if you answered yes and yes, you were sent to Manzanar, which is east from here, like near Lone Pine. You know Manzanar?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I've heard of Manzanar, yeah.
So Manzanar is specifically where Momo ended up. And unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to research exactly how much she and her family got broken up and separated. I'm not sure if that kind of information is available, but there's many, many, many better, more articulate, more helpful, more educated people with great resources available to explain how terrible the conditions were for thousands and thousands of Americans living in those camps. But ultimately, that's not what I wanted to focus on for this tab. What I wanted to talk about, when I thought made this sort of tab worthy within the sphere of what we do, is Dan's project.
Okay. Because I was going to say, everybody just trust that it was bad. How about that?
Seriously.
When you put people in a concentration camp, it's bad. Like, no matter, it's not as bad as Germany. I don't care. It's bad. So, yeah. Hot take. Hannah here.
Hot take, right. Hot take Hannah over here.
Concentration camps are bad, guys.
Wow. Some American
active,
you are.
Hannah Hillam.
Yeah. Hannah, would you fight and die for this country?
Nope.
Yeah. Who do you swear allegiance to?
Myself.
I'm going to have to I'm filling out the questionnaire for you. Anyway,
California.
Okay.
Gavin Newsom. Ew. Gross. Go on.
So now Momo, she got to live a long life, nothing tragic. And she eventually passed away in 2010. So you don't have to worry about that. But a few years back, Dan had this spark of a crazy idea that he thought would honor her memory and the stories she had shared with him and everyone else. It took some time, but just this last year, in October of 2024, his dream finally became a reality. Dan and his crew built a baseball field at his mother's former internment camp and played a game between two Japanese American baseball teams, and it was known as the Manzanar Baseball Project.
What? You're bringing baseball into this?
I keep bringing it in.
Dude, it can't. Baseball is so intertwined in with this podcast. It's insane.
It's really weird because I'm not even like that. I'm insane of a baseball fan, but like it's just you read about history. You're like, oh, this is why this is the American pastime, is because it just pops up everywhere over and over again.
There was baseball everywhere. Fascinating. Okay, so this is wild.
This is why I was like, this is so crazy. This is why I was like fascinated by it. So the thing is that people often forget when it comes to shit like this is how badly people in terrible situations will cling on to anything that makes them feel normal, however simple it is. Mm-hmm. Anything to feel a sense of like normalcy, even if it's tiny, even if it's small. And internees, they got to build kind of these community gardens. They sang in choirs, they raised chickens, whatever they could do to feel a sense of basic control. But among the things that they were allowed to play sports, but the one that they were played and really like became a huge thing was to play baseball.
Whoa. Okay, wait. So I know that nowadays the Japanese have an entirely, like, they're extremely into baseball. Was that the case before this?
That's been the case for a long time. Yes.
For a long time. Okay, I wasn't sure if this was related in any way, or it was just they just have always been. It's also the Japanese pastime to play baseball.
So it was like baseball's invented in America, goes to Japan, and then in Japan they like, and then Japanese come to America, and then they're like, we like baseball. So it's like this
Cool.
What's the
Okay.
word I'm thinking of? It's like reinforced kind of. But no, baseball was already a big thing, especially in LA. Amongst the
Right.
Japanese American community. I was reading something where it's like a lot of like fishermen and stuff would just be like listening to local Japanese baseball games like on the radio and shit while they worked.
love
It was like a
that.
huge part of the culture. And so whatever, you could play like whatever basketball or stuff. Again, it's terrible to think about this, but it sort of just reminds me of like a prison yard where you're like,
Oh yeah.
you can play
What do you do to
basketball,
pass
you can
the
do whatever
time?
this, and what do you do past the time? But baseball was by far the largest sport at Manzanar. With
Right.
10 baseball and softball diamonds on the grounds and more than 120
Whoa.
teams divided into 12 year-round leagues.
What? Wait, hold on. So okay, internment camps happen, and everyone's just like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna only play baseball.
Yeah.
It's pretty
So-
much like this is what got us through.
Yeah, and so the other thing that's important to remember is that this camp specifically, there are more than 10,000 people in this internment camp. So it's like a full-on town, right? So when you think about how large it is, it's not that crazy to consider that, like, because at first you're like 120 teams.
Yeah.
What the hell are you? Okay, how is that?
That's insane.
12 year-round leagues.
12
So
leagues in
here's-
one.
So here's some
Let's see.
pictures
Okay, nice.
of people just playing baseball.
Playing baseball, yeah. Oh, check him. Oh, that looks so fun. There's little kids playing baseball. They're all decked out in 50s clothes. You can picture it, everybody, or just go look
Yeah.
on YouTube.
So
Oh, it's such a. Here's the thing that this picture, the picture of the kid striking or hitting the ball,
Yeah.
really, it like is kind of it's devastating because you look at it, you're like, oh, fun, a normal picturesque American activity, and then you look in the background, and there are they're in a concentration camp, they're in an internment camp. There's these kind of bleak-looking barracks, and it's like, oh, right. That is, you know what? And it's still an
There's-
American pastime to put
Yeah.
people in internment camp. You know what I mean? It's a very
Yeah.
American image in a lot of ways.
yeah, there's so
Good and
much
bad.
dissonance in that one photo, which is what's
Yeah.
incredible when you look at it.
It's
You're like, this is
kind of an
so many feelings at once.
Yeah, it's an incredible photo. Just be like, there's children there. Oh my goodness, they're having fun, but they're. It reminds me of like, I don't know if we can include this, but I feel like this shouldn't be political. But there's the Gaza skate team. Do you follow them?
No, actually, I was gonna. So part of what I was gonna bring up was I was gonna sort of get to what's happening now, but I was like, I wonder what kind of things are happening as a result of what's happening. So there's a skate team.
There's a skate team. The Gaza skate team is like a group of like 30 kids and teenagers who just are just skating all over the ruins of Gaza. And they existed before, and now they're just like, and they're documenting it, and they're like, this is our city, we're doing this.
Is this an Instagram page or something? Or
I think it's
okay,
called
you gotta
the
send it to me.
Gaza skate team. Here's the thing though, just today, there's only one guy left, because he was like, we had to get these kids out of here. So a lot of them were able to go somewhere else.
Okay.
And a lot of them ended up dying. But so it's been, and then also like there's soccer teams and there's bird watching. Do you follow the bird watchers of Gaza?
I know. I was not. We live in silos, so I don't see any of this stuff, which is crazy.
Yeah. A little, like a year ago, I was like, I got to see what people are doing to have some hope, because it was too much. And so I found the bird watchers. It's these two sisters who are like still documenting all the birds they see in their homeland.
That's awesome.
That is still,
That still exist.
yeah.
Wow.
Anyway.
So some of the teams featured star athletes who had played in semi-pro leagues, like Pete Mitsui of the San Fernando Aces and softball powerhouse Rosie M. Kikuchi of the Dusty Chicks.
The Dusty Chicks is a great name. Also, these
Really?
women playing the softball reminds me of at the very same time in the Women's Auxiliary Corps, this was happening as well. They just weren't in my camp, just softball playing.
So baseball, of course, wasn't just important for the athletes. It's also significant for their fans, because like their friends, their family, the community, your neighbors, whoever, everyone's there. And it's kind of crazy to think about that. You're like, oh, like the people who are the biggest players of the day were also in the internment camps with them. So
That's just
the thing
really shows it's like,
That's but I just kept thinking is like, oh, like we're in a concentration camp today. Like this sucks, but like let's go see Ohtani score like 17 home runs. Like it's just it's so insane to think about that. Yeah.
Then place it in. Yeah, exactly. By the way, I don't know if we're going to include it, but I was going to also say the Gaza skate team has a GoFundMe. So we should put that in the link. Yeah.
That's cool. We should. Yeah.
Anyway.
So Kerry Yo Nakagawa, who's an author, historian, and director of the Nisei Baseball Research Project, which is a nonprofit dedicated to preserving the history of Japanese baseball, had a quote. He says, "You would think that they would reject it and be bitter, but instead they embraced it. They could watch baseball played at a super high level and it would take them away from that pain. Baseball gave them hope. It was their elixir." And the baseball in the camps got so crazy that eventually the players were allowed to travel by train and bus to other camps.
What?
From Gila River,
Jeez.
Arizona to Hart Mountain, Wyoming to compete.
Oh,
And
it's wild.
Dan, there's another quote. So this is from Dan. He says, "The baseball field was a part of the camp where people could live the life that they had before the war. It was a place where they could express their American identity through this quintessentially American activity, the game of baseball." Because remember, these are Americans. And I think it's like...
they are citizens.
Yes.
The majority are citizens of the United States.
And it's so interesting to me that they were like, yeah, no, we're just gonna do this. And it's that kind of weird, crazy resilience that you're like, you and I are often like fatalistic and we're like, oh, everything's terrible. And it's like, no, some people just, you have no choice but to deal with it, and you have to find something to occupy your mind and your time. Yeah.
If we weren't witnesses to horrible things happening and we were actually experiencing them, that we also would find ourselves clinging to things like that. I think it's just the part of being a witness is feeling absolutely helpless when the human spirit, man, it's pretty incredible. I forget.
So after the war is over, everyone sort of ditches the camps, and the government's not taking care of the shit stain because, of course, why would they? They're just trying to basically forget about it. But many people worked very hard to get its historical site status. Because remember, even though we said a lot of people didn't want to talk about it, there's a lot of people who were like, no, we need to make sure that we preserve this and like not get erased, and we need to remember this. And a lot of people worked tirelessly to make sure that these things are still remembered today. But eventually, time and weather make their mark on the baseball field. But Dan's like, no, we're not going to let this go. And he gets all like Field of Dreams and shit. And he's like, he comes up with this personal slogan. Did you ever see Field of Dreams?
Nope. But I know the premise.
So the very famous quote is that like he goes in the field and it's like, if you build it, they will come, is the voice that he hears, and he thinks he's insane. And he's like, I don't know. So he cuts down his cornfield and makes the baseball field. But so what Dan keeps saying to everybody is, if we build it, they will come, this time willingly, is his quote.
I love that. That's so dark. That's so good. Okay.
But how does he reconstruct it, right? Luckily, Manzanar had its own in-house photographer. It's a guy named Toyo Miyatake. And Miyatake had been a successful commercial photographer in LA before the war. And when he got taken in, he smuggled a lens into the camp and constructed a makeshift camera. And eventually, after a while, they found that he was taking pictures. And they're like, whatever, we don't care. We're bad at everything. So just, you can keep going.
We're bad at everything. Excellent. Yeah.
And in his more than 3 years in the camp, he produced about 1,500 images from all around the camp.
Are these what all these pictures of? Are these his pictures that you're sending me?
I definitely remembered where I got these photos specifically.
We're professionals.
Here is a link to his photos that is loading very slowly.
They are his photos?
I think the ones that I sent you are not his photos, but there are more photos of the stuff that he took pictures of.
Oh, cool. Okay, these are awesome. Wow.
So there's this one of like these view. Yeah, there's like these 3 kids grabbing barbed wire together.
These are great photos. I love these. Oh, jeez. What a dark stain. I know we say that all the time, but holy. I'm so glad for photographers. Like this, I think we forget nowadays because everyone has a camera on their phone. It's like we forget how important it was that people were able to take photos of anything. Because so much crime and dark things went unprosecuted and unseen just because we didn't have photography. So it's like this is so good. It really captures the whole
I think the
thing.
photos I sent you were, I believe the photographer is Francis Stewart. Actually, you know who else took photos there?
Who?
Ansel Adams.
What?
Yeah.
You kidding?
Nope. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah.
Oh, my world's just collided. Of course, that makes sense.
And actually, so if you guys go onto the National Park Service website, there's a gallery with all these different things of all these photos that you can go look at. And it'll organize it by the photographer.
I love the National Park Service. Oh, check
Oh
that
yeah.
out. This is so cool. Oh yeah, definitely go look at this. We'll put this on a link. Oh, the orphanage. Okay, never mind. I just got really sad. But yeah, but go look at this.
And this is gonna be a little bit of a slideshow for a minute, but
Yeah.
so basically here's some pictures of the progress that Dan made over the period
Oh,
of
cool.
time.
So he referenced all of these old photos to get the accurate.
Yeah.
Like,
So
the
actually I sent them to you
bleachers.
out of order, but here's sort of what it looked like in the beginning.
Okay.
Or like the sign of it outside. It just says baseball fields and it's like covered in everything.
Oh yeah, the sign is still there. What a beautiful view too.
Yeah. So he basically was like, okay, I'm going to get in my car and okay. So I think he worked with an organization called Great Leap Incorporated, which he may or may not have started himself. I don't remember. But also he's working with the state parks. So he sort of was able to use his whatever influence he had and resources and kind of like pull people together. And so he was like, all right, I'm going to drive out, 3 hours. Cause I think he's based in Santa Monica and just start like building he's just like, I don't know. I've never like made a baseball field before.
This is so cool. The reclaiming of all of this is really cool.
So on October 26, 2024, Dan and his teammates from the Little Tokyo Giants faced off against the Lodi JACL Templars in the inaugural game at the Manzanar National Historical Site, the first since the incarceration camps closed in November 1945. Both well-established Japanese-American amateur teams, the Giants beat the Templars handily in an 8-1 inning game, which was followed by an all-star game where players donned 1940-style uniforms and played with vintage gloves and hats.
No way.
So,
that is, what a way to like take it back,
Exactly. So here's a photo of, that's him in the middle.
Oh, he's awesome looking. Oh, are they doing like the not the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, check that out. Okay, yeah, these guys are awesome. They got their two teams. They're lining up. And the first one is like old school uniforms, right?
Yeah, that's like the 1940s ones. Sorry, again, all this is much more visual than normal for one of my tabs, but
yeah, this is definitely worth it to go look at the photos. This is really powerful, especially when you get to look at it compared to the other one of those kids playing baseball. It's like same thing. Now it's on
I couldn't find if he was. So I think the intention was to make it be something that was like annual that happens every year.
Yeah.
And so last year was just the first one. I was having trouble finding exactly what's happening this year, but I don't imagine it's something that was like a one-off. I think they're trying to make it because people do go to the camp as well, like once a year, just to sort of pay tributes and to remember and stuff. But I don't know if the baseball game specifically. It's like, again, this is very new. This just happened for the first time last year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, I would love to see this become part of like the trek to visit the camp.
Yeah. I was having trouble trying to articulate how this made me feel, but I think it's like we say stupid words like, oh, I'm inspired. Like, it's so inspired. And I'm like, I feel like inspiring is such like an overused word. And which is not to say it's lost its meaning. I just is like, I don't feel like that sufficiently articulates what this made me feel, but it warmed my heart in a very specific way that I thought was both super dark, which, as you know, is like our jam.
Yeah,
but also
you can't have it be like, you can't feel that much warmth without it being also really cold to begin with.
Deeply dark, yeah. And then the idea that like, and it's not an either or thing, but like usually when you think of tribute to some horrific thing that's happened, it's like, oh, these people went on like a march across states, like because they're reenacting the Trail of Tears, like something horrific. But it's interesting to take the thing that was what kept their sanity and what kept their sense of purpose and like their sense of control. And it's also on its surface just kind of like, yeah, let's just get together once a year and we'll play a baseball game. It just happens to be in this place where entire families were in a concentration camp. It's kind of like, so it's like this weirdly like positive and like earnest and like sincere like connection to people, and you're honoring them, but also you're honoring the horrific thing that happened. I don't have a good word or an explanation, which usually I'm not at a loss for words, but I'm like, it made me feel a lot of feelings that I thought were really, for a lack of a better word, inspiring. And it made me think of how this guy, I've had Dan as a person who's, he's a creative person, and he didn't have to do anything crazy. He just was like, what if we built this baseball field and we looked at these pictures and like, I know this person and that person, and let's connect this person. So I think we live in crazy times, and we're all, you and I were talking about this before. It's like, what do you do amongst the chaos? How do you honor things that are like, terrible that have happened? How do you deal with injustice? And a lot of times we forget to think about like something that can be sincere, that acknowledges the darkness without being cheesy or kind of like erasing it. It's
Right.
I don't know. I'm stumbling through this, unfortunately, but it's kind of what inspired me with this one.
I think that the simplicity of it is what makes it so important.
Yeah.
Is that like the one thing they had to hold on to is the thing they're celebrating. It's like it's honoring the struggle. It's not honoring the camp. Obviously not. It's honoring the people who turned that experience into something that could get them through it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's like they, despite everything, they hung on to just the simplicity of baseball. So why don't we just go play a game? And also, I don't know if I believe in like vibes, but like, let's add some more good vibes to this place. You know what I mean? Let's heal this place in our minds and in our associations. Like a place where our ancestors or our grandparents suffered. Let's go play their favorite game.
Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense. It's
I thought it was really great. Shout out to Dan. Man. I thought that was a really amazing, beautiful way to honor, the memory of his mother and the memory of his ancestors and the memory of like this terrible thing that happened, but then also make it this. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there and I didn't get a sense of like how people were feeling. I don't know if they're like all necessarily like sad in the stands as this game is happening, but it seems like it's something that people are like having an okay time. But I don't know. And again, it's only the first time that's happened, but I just such an interesting, fascinating thing that he did. And I think it's such a cool tap. And it's something I didn't know anything about, which could fill 10 rooms of me not knowing about things. But
man, the room of us, the things that we do know about is insane. I'm sure it makes no sense.
It's empty. It keeps getting emptied over and over again.
No, but that was really heartwarming. I like that a lot, especially in a time where we're seeing a lot of things are being repeated. It was nice to hear something like this. That's like, oh yeah, people can get through things that are unimaginable.
Anyway, it's a little bit on the shorter side, but that's my tab.
No, that was great. Thank you. That was awesome.
Thank you.
I needed that. I needed to hear that kind of positivity today. And wow, cool. That like buoyed me up. Thanks.
Good.
Disgusting. Happiness. I feel sick.
How dare you?
How dare you make me feel something?
I know.
Repulsive. Some friend you are. And how do I don't know how to transition to mine. It's not as like exciting.
That's okay. I think we just remind everybody that if you enjoy hearing weirdly positive stories occasionally
from two deeply negative people,
you can sign up for the Patreon. It's patreon.com/500opentabs. You can donate up to as much as you want or as little as like $3 a month, and it'll help us put these stories together that are poorly told and far less researched than the people that live these experiences and put in blood, sweat, and tears to do something meaningful. So a couple of idiot podcasters can come be like, I read an article, check out my show, give me $3.
I'm going to repeat this, but way worse than they would have. No. That was hollow. Yeah, he's right. But if we would appreciate the support. And shout out to the two new patrons, Lauren and Delaney. Yeah, Lauren and Delaney. Thanks, guys.
Welcome, Lauren and Delaney.
Welcome.
Thank you for
all the weird cuts and the chaos that we end up putting on there, and the reaction videos, which there's going to be more of those, I'm pretty sure, coming here.
All right. Also, if you have not signed up for YouTube, please go ahead and do that. It's going to help us.
Yeah.
In the long run.
Last time a bunch of people did sign up. We don't understand anything.
That's true.
My understanding of social media stopped in 2014, and it shows. So let's just give some likes and subscriptions and whatever, all of it. Thank you guys, and thank you for their tab.
Thank you. All right, Hannah, what have you got for us this week?
Mine's kind of also kind of like an out, like a, what did you call it? Like a related tab or a out.
Like a tangential. I don't remember what I wrote. I've never
a tangent. I've never written anything in my life.
I've never done this ever.
Not 89 times. But mine's also kind of like related
Okay.
the things I've talked about recently.
Oh no, not more diarrhea, please.
No, don't worry. This has very little excrement in it. Okay, it has the normal amount of excrement in it.
Okay, thank God.
Which is yeah. Look, I've learned
It's a
my
low bar to clear, but sure.
I found my limit, and it was last week, and it made me ill. And you know what? I'm gonna come out and say right now, I'm sorry, everybody.
It's okay.
Didn't know it would be that
if we
bad.
didn't know we can't know where the line is until we cross it, and then we say, okay,
and I think
time to go back.
Yeah. Yep. It's like, well, I didn't think I'd ever talk about drinking.
Yeah, that's a boundary.
Excrement.
Didn't know until we got there, but now we know that it's there, and I'm glad that we're not going to go there anymore.
Put up a boundary post and walk back. We're not coming here. So
we're like kids.
Today...
We're just like, we're figuring out where danger is. Ow! Hand on stove hurts when it's fire. My mom was right for telling me to not do that. Now I believe her. Maybe she's right about other things.
Maybe she's right about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Mom. She's not listening. Anyway, so today I have this interesting here's the weird thing about it is that I've had this tab open in some form or another for like 2 years. And it survived the Great Delete. And the first time I came across it, I was actually reading about this subject in a National Geographic from 1975.
That tracks.
At the library.
I was going to say at the library, which is something you were doing, I remember a lot when you were writing your book.
Yes, because I was like, I have to read something that's not my book. And so I'd go and scavenge through the free magazine bin and find National Geographics. And this one was from December 1975, and it's an article titled 6 Months Alone in a Cave. So I thought I brought the magazine home. I didn't. I don't know where it is.
Bummer.
So I tried to open it digitally like 2 years ago at the beginning of the podcast. And then it's just sat there because I didn't want to pay National Geographic to get to the archives. So thankfully, I still had the title and I remembered a little bit of it. So I was able to open a bunch of other tabs. And it felt fitting to re-stumble upon this because I've been doing so much about how people perceive time and about self-experimentation. And so this is like a combo of both of those without the diarrhea and the pus and the vomit. So thankfully, you're safe.
Okay.
All that to say, I'm going to be talking about everything I learned about the Midnight Cave experiment. And
I already hate this. I already don't want to do this. I don't want to be in a cave. I don't want to be there at midnight.
No,
I don't want experiments.
I'm going to say this. You don't ever have to go in a cave, okay?
Okay, good.
You're safe.
You're
safe.
like
Mark's safe.
I get claustrophobic. I don't like it.
Oh, good. So do I. Don't worry. I'm a very claustrophobic person, and I was able to make it through this one without.
Okay, good.
Because these caves that he's in, they're gigantic. And anyway.
Okay.
So the year is 1962, which is, JFK is still intact. Yeah. And the weird way of saying he was still alive, but whatever.
His parts are all still there, yeah.
His head is still whole. And it was the same. It was the same year as the Cuban Missile Crisis, which was the closest we ever got to full-on nuclear war. So the first Beatles record came out. More importantly, the nuclear war. And then Marilyn Monroe died. Rest in peace.
Oh, right.
But more importantly for this story, the space race was fully underway as the U.S. sent John Glenn into space on the Friendship 7 rocket, making him the first American to orbit the Earth and finally beating those Ruskies. Just kidding. They were always ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, they were sending monkeys into space like 30 years before us.
Yeah. They went to Venus. Reminder, they went to Venus.
Not literally 30, but yes.
Yeah. That always blows my mind that they took pictures on the surface of Venus. And then the Americans were like, we're not ever talking about that again.
Yep.
Anyway, go look those up. It's wild. And so it wasn't just the governments of the USA and the USSR that was like space crazy. It was literally everyone on Earth was like, this is the new world. We're going to live in space. This is it. Space age everything. Space age technology.
We don't need to fix problems here. Yeah.
We're just going to leave and it'll be fine. Our bones aren't going to slowly lose density over the days we spend in space.
It's too hard being on Earth making sure that people don't die. Let's go to space. Let's go to Mars.
I would never do it.
We need to go on Mars because it's too hard to not give corporations infinite money and like no boundaries whatsoever. We need to go to Mars.
The Earth that we came from. And
it's hard. But what about my giant SUV?
Let's go ruin another planet. How about that?
What about my exceedingly large electric batteries? What am I supposed to do with those?
You know what's funny to me? It's like the money it would take to terraform Mars is more than it would take to save our world.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys, we can do that here. It's
Think
already
of the growth
terraformed
potential,
here.
Hannah. Yeah, you can make a bunch of money off of that, though. That's why.
Ew. Anyway,
Again, dumbest existence in just
Stupidest.
ever. So stupid. We
dumbest
have the
timeline.
dumbest idiot villains that we have to deal with every day. Just the dumbest idiot villains.
I was thinking, were people like, wow, this Hitler guy's an absolute idiot, like how stupid he is? Was that how it went for them? Where they were just
I
like,
think they thought that with Mussolini for sure.
he's kind of a total dork.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if
idiot.
people thought Hitler was... No, because I feel like Hitler was always like scary.
Yeah.
He never really seemed like he... admittedly, I have not consumed a lot of like Hitler videos. I will say
I don't like 'em.
hot take. Sorry, U.S. government. I'm not up to
wanna
date
watch
on
'em.
like all the videos of Hitler, but from what
I'll
I
trust
saw,
that it
he
was
seemed like he was
bad.
just angry all the time. He
All
didn't
the
seem like he
time.
was like goofy. I didn't think he was like.
Yeah.
I don't think he was like relatable or whatever. Like I don't think that was
No.
part of his like PR strategy. I think it was just always like screaming and insane and on meth.
Yeah, and he was still on a lot of meth. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I don't think, but like his sort of, I don't think he ever appeared like a normal person that you could make fun of.
no. 'Cause
But I
wondered,
I have never even thought
yeah.
about that.
I wonder what people were like. Wow, this guy, no way is he going to be a thing. Like, Anyway, doesn't matter. That's a tangent about we're trying to figure out why our fascism is such a particular brand of stupid, and we're
Yeah.
never going to find the answer.
Nope.
Because it's complex and it's deeply woven into our culture as Americans.
Yep.
American fascism is dumb.
Yep.
And it's babyish and pathetic. So,
Yep.
air horn.
Reset.
That's the reset air horn, and that's what
Yeah.
I'm going to use to reset it. Back to caving. So it's funny because I'm like, I'm going to try to steer clear of talking about digging, and then I'm like, I'm only talking about caves for an entire episode. It's like I can't get
It's
away
like
from
digging
it.
into rock, basically. Yeah. It's basically just a
I'm
rock
obsessed.
hole.
Well, I would never go in a cave. Let me just say that right now. Never.
Wow.
I'm cavist.
Cavist.
Cave-toharian.
Nevertheless,
Okay,
she cave-sisted. Keep going.
I've cave-sisted. People love this when we do this. Especially, shout out to that one guy's wife who's really annoyed right now that we can't
Oh,
stay on
right.
topic. All right?
I think John
This
was
is
his
for
name.
you.
Shout out to John.
Shout out
This
to
is the one that
John's
we met
wife.
in Oregon. Yeah.
This is for you. Okay. I'm still not even going to get back on topic. Okay. So, one thing that people hadn't really thought about at the time was what it would actually look like to live in space. And especially in relative solitude or darkness for months or years at a time.
Yeah.
So, it was still so early. We didn't even know how space was affecting us at all. And we still barely know because we're like, every time we send someone up there, their bones get bad. So it's like, how are we going to like... Anyway, here's where our guy,
Milk.
23...
Just thousands and
Milk.
thousands and thousands of gallons of milk every day.
We got to refuel the milk tank at the space
This is going to be a
station.
giant, like, cord from the earth that just is connected to, like, 10 billion cows, just upping the amount of methane that's going into the air, but just pumping milk directly.
Straight to some astronauts.
Yeah,
Which
not
is
pasteurized, by the way, because that's where America's going now. Yeah.
No. Why would you pasteurize this pasteurized space milk is as good as fascism, okay? It's as good as communism. I'm not going to drink some pasteurized space milk, communist space milk.
Yeah,
I don't even know what I'm saying
non-pasteurized space milk. How do you think space milk would taste? Like if you milk a cow in space
and send it to space? Oh, like it's being milked. I don't think it would come out of the udders.
You don't think so?
I think it would, but you know how like
It'd just be like,
you know what?
And then it would just go into the universe and then like
I think it
break
would just, like,
Saturn's
attack.
rings or something because it would just start going so fast.
Dude,
I don't
what
know.
if Saturn's rings just became space? Doesn't matter. I have to move on. Well, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Okay, here we go. John's wife. I'm doing it. Okay. So here's where our guy, this main guy of our story, Michel Siffre, comes in. And
Siffre.
he's a Frenchman. He was a French speleologist.
Oh, you think?
Which, yeah, Michel
Siffre.
Michel Siffre, and he was he was German. No, just kidding. He was fully French.
Yeah.
There's even a video of him wearing a striped shirt. I'm like, dude,
Smoking a cigarette with a red beret.
you look like a cartoon. So, and all French people are like that, by the way. For the record, YouTube, every single
All
French
we do
person
is
loves
generalize.
caving. Okay,
Yeah.
they like caving and they wear striped shirts. So get over it. I'm insane right now. So Michel was a speleologist, which is a cave scientist, and he had been studying and exploring caves.
Speleologist?
Yeah, speleologist comes from the same root word that spelunking comes from, which is
okay.
Yeah, apparently that was the old time word for caving.
I've heard spelunking. Yeah, I was gonna say speleologist sounds like everybody I went to film school with, who were just like, I'm obsessed with every Steven Spielberg movie ever made, and I know every single fact about it.
This guy's just like, I just watch movies underground.
Yeah,
that's my
in the
thing.
cave. Yeah,
in the cave. Okay, so he ended up going to school for it at the French Academy of Sciences, which is like a prestigious university.
Was in a cave, the school?
He wishes. No,
yeah. Missed opportunity. What are we doing? We're just sitting here looking at pictures of caves. We should be in the cave for class. I mean, gotta show up to stalactite class. We're just gonna stare at this shit for like a long time.
Look at this bat poo class. Guano. Yeah. The next period is Guano 101 and how to identify Guano 101. Okay, so he ended up going to school, and then the idea of living in space kind of struck him because he'd been hearing all this stuff about the space race, and he was like, dude, it's kind of like living underground. There's no light. There's no anything. I wonder if I could make something of this. And his curiosity got to him, and he was like, I'm going to live underground. Here they are. So the summer of 1962 comes around. Mm-hmm. And Siffre sets out on an experiment that would set the stage for the rest of his career and life and end up leading to the founding of the field of human chronobiology.
Whoa.
Which is the study of like sleep cycles, REM cycles, and internal clock. The internal
That's
clock.
Cool.
Like, yeah. So before then, the theory that we had an internal clock was only a theory. We had never tested it on anything besides rats. And we had figured out that rats do have an internal clock. Like if you put them in the dark, they still have a cycle, a day-night cycle within themselves. So they're like, well, maybe humans do too, but who's crazy enough to try it? Michel is. So he said, quote, I decided to live like an animal without a watch in the dark without knowing the time. So he descended into this cave called Scarasan Abyss, the Scarasan Abyss in the Alps for 2 months.
It's Scars on Abyss. That's the name of the
Scarasan.
Oh,
I don't know. Scarasan Abyss. He was funded by the French military because they were like, bro, we're making submarines and we need to see how long we can keep somebody underwater.
That's the other one that scares the shit out of me. I've heard about people who like work on submarines and they talk to it and you're like, this sounds like a fate worse than death.
Yeah, I'd rather die than work on a submarine.
Yeah. Because you're like, I'm underwater for like 3 months at a time.
And that's worse than being underground because water, you're just like, it's like not, I don't want to talk about submarines anymore.
Yeah, okay, let's keep going.
And he admits later that he was woefully underprepared for this experiment because he was 23 and an idiot. And he was almost constantly wet and cold because the Alps are like near glacial temperatures. So he's like, I'm going into a glacier.
I'm surprised he survived. Yeah.
Yeah. He said at one point his body temperature went down to 93 degrees, which is not good.
So he doesn't, when you say, does he come with like flashlights and stuff or he's just fully like?
That's the thing. He has one source of light. So he has like a flashlight or a lantern or whatever. And he brought with him a notebook and some reading material and that's it. No calendar, no sunlight. His only connection with others was a single phone line that went to the surface, and he would barely use it. He would only use it to be like, hey, here's my vitals, here's my statistics, here's my studies, and they weren't allowed to call him. He was only allowed to call them. So
did you say how long he was there?
2 months.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
how did he know when the 2 months was over?
He didn't. So it was. This is the craziest part. So he would call up to the surface, and part of the experiment was to tell the surface how many days he thought had passed since his last call.
Yeah.
And he would also count to 120 every time as part of anyway. So not only was he miserably cold, but the cave sometimes crumbled a little bit and crashed down. It would freak him out. And when he reemerged 2 months later in mid-September, not only was he met with a ton of reporters who had heard about this and were like, we're going to go see him. So there's a video of him coming out and just being like
what? I just woke up.
His eyes were like, can't adjust. And he's like, what is happening? Like, there's like 50 reporters there. And he's like skinny and sickly. And he was also deeply confused because when they're like, hey, it's time to come up, he was like, I've only been down here for a month. And they're like, no, you've been down there for the full 2 months.
Oh, shit.
And by his count, only a month had passed.
Weird.
And they also informed him that whenever he counted to 120, it would take 5 minutes.
He's supposed to count to 120 seconds or just the number 120?
Seconds. What he perceived as seconds. And so he would count to 120 what he thought were seconds. Yeah. And it ended up being about 5 minutes worth of counting. So That's
weird.
He realized that he said, quote, he says what he said. He said, quote, the only things that change are when you wake up and when you go to bed. Besides that, it's entirely black. It's like one long day. And so he would just write down when he woke up and went to sleep and guessed at the time. And it was fully wrong. Like super, super bendy and weird and had no concept. And he ended up sleeping. His sleep cycle changed. It was onto a 25-hour one instead of a 24-hour. Which is weird.
Sorry, he's not sleeping for 25 hours. What do you mean?
Sorry, I should say his day-night cycle. Like his day
was 25
hours. Yeah.
Interesting.
And it proved that without sunlight, we do indeed have an internal clock, just like rats, but it's just a little bit off. Yeah, so that was his first experiment. And when he came out, NASA was like, oh, this is interesting. Here's some money. You should keep doing this. Just keep sending people. And so for the next 10 years, he's like, let's do this. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did he keep going back or he's sending other people?
He's sending other people right now. NASA paid for him they synthesized all of his data and mathematically figured out all of it and stuff. And he was like, this is dope. And he was like, this is perfect because I came at the right time. It's the Cold War. And all they want to know is how to hack the human body in a way that can make it better for wartime, for space time, for whatever. So it was the perfect time. Are you okay?
No, I'm just like, it stresses me out.
Oh,
the idea of having no idea. I don't idea. Blackout curtains in a room. It stresses me out because then I'm like, I don't know what's happening. It's
I don't like noise canceling headphones. They make me feel like I'm trapped.
Yeah.
Anyway,
continue. Sorry.
So there's some crazy things that come from this that are now obvious because now we know, don't be alone in a cave for 6 months because it's bad.
Don't?
Yeah, actually, you should cancel your plans.
Shit. That was going to be our 100th episode spectacular. It was 2 months in a cave. Kumatab 4. Cave-matab.
It's just you and I literally physically fighting in a cave underground.
We can't see anything, so we just end up punching walls by accident, and then I fall into a giant crevasse.
Dude, so
break
many
my
tears.
legs.
I would cry I would cry the whole time, I think.
I don't think I would sleep. I think I would just be in such a state of panic that I'd be freaking. I'd just be having an anxiety attack nonstop.
Well, he chose these people based on how calm, how
different heart
much
rates and
not
stuff like that.
us
Resting
they
heart
were.
rate.
Yeah. So he was like, you can chill, you can go down. So they started sending more people down to different caves, and they found that everyone they sent down eventually adjusted to a 48-hour sleep cycle. A wake sleep cycle. So with 36 hours of activity and 12 hours of sleep. So people would stay
they would
awake
be up for 36 hours?
Yes.
And then sleep for 12.
That was their waking hours were 36 hours. And then they'd sleep for 12 to 14. And the French army was like, oh, no way. We can probably figure out a way for our soldiers to be awake for that long. Of course.
Great.
Because that's all military ever wants is to try to exploit everybody more.
Yeah.
So they threw more money at him because they're like, to help us figure out a way to keep our soldiers up for 36 hours. And he was like, thanks for the money. I'm going to keep doing this.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not paying rent when I'm in there for 2 months at a time. This is perfect. This is all profit.
So that was really weird for him because he was like, well, mine didn't switch to that. I only had a 25-hour cycle. And I kind of nagged at him, like, why didn't that change for me? Why didn't I? Yeah. I want the 48-hour cycle. So in 1966, he sent a man down for 4 months, and as well as a woman. And they discovered that the woman, her period completely stopped.
Really?
Isn't that weird?
Weird.
Totally stopped. Yeah. And she was like, no menstrual cycle, nothing. Without the
You're just
sunlight
getting
and like
no vitamin D or anything. That's
nothing.
probably something to do with it. It's crazy.
That's another thing where it's like, and they tried to give them food that was like suited for their specific like needs to keep them at an equilibrium. But like that blows my mind. The loss of a menstrual cycle, that is insane to me. Because I think that's like, yes, that every single month that comes, but like not underground in the dark. No. Anyway, ladies, should we all go down?
If you don't want to take birth control, just go live in a cave for 6 months.
So they also analyzed sleep stages through this and REM sleep. Okay. And they made the discovery that there's a correlation between how long a person stays up and how much he dreams the next night. So the longer you stay up, the more you dream, the more REM cycles you have. Then the more you dream, the shorter your reaction time is during your next phase of wakefulness. So you stay deeper in REM sleep for longer, but especially if you've been awake for 36 hours, you just pure crazy dreams. So I don't know what that means. I didn't look it up.
Not sleeping for a long time is not good for you, I think is what that means.
It's not good, you guys. And they also began realizing how mentally taxing it was. These people would come out and be deeply depressed. And be like, I can't see anymore because now the sun is too bright. And so 10 years later, after his first experiment, Michel was like, you know what? I want to go back down in the cave. And this time I'm going to do it the right way. Which, I'm sorry, there is no right way.
Yeah, by not going. I was going to say, the right way is to not go into it.
It's like, we kind of know, like, don't do that. I mean, it's cool that you proved that there's like a internal clock or whatever, but like, at what cost? And so in 1972, he was like, I'm going to go back down into a different cave. NASA's funding this, so I got all the money I want. And I need to figure out why I never fell into that 48-hour cycle. Why some people do and some people don't. And so he decided to go to what was called the Midnight Cave. That's the name of the cave. And it's in Texas. And he was way more prepared. He spent almost a year preparing. He made a subterranean laboratory, which sounds awesome, and stocked it with stuff for 6 months. So a whole library of books, paper, a record player, a desk, a lamp, just a lot of activity. A lot of activity.
Like a one-bedroom apartment,
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to send you a picture of the subterranean lair. I want to call it a lair, but it's not. This is his subterranean tent and laboratory. You can see that he has like a platform on the outside where he can exercise on his little exercise bike.
Looks like a Bedouin tent of some sort with like light. It
kind of does. And he has a whole like station over there. They're like science station to try to like pee in cups and measure that or whatever.
You know what's crazy is I could think of at least 5 people I know in my life would be like, this is the dream.
No, really?
This is the people who just love nothing more than this.
That's insane. I think, you know what? I think my husband would do this. Here's a picture of him weighing himself.
Did he get a lobotomy?
It looks like it. No, but he shaved his head so every night he could attach little nodes to those little parts.
He literally looks like, what's his name in the Simpsons episode? He's like, I told you to trim those sideburns, not shave them.
Oh, I don't remember.
Wade Boggs? Somebody who like shaves the side of his head. I can't remember which baseball player it was.
He looks insane.
He does look insane. He probably is insane. He's been living in a cave.
Well, yeah. And here's a picture of him. This is what his setup looked like in bed. He would sleep every night with these like nodes attached to him that were all connected to this big long cable that fed into like, I don't know, up to the cave or like to like a machine. And every night they would track his cycles and sleep and heart rate. And he had there was like a rectal aspect of it where he would just pop this little rectal sensor into his every night just to like, I actually don't know.
For fun.
I just got hung up on
just
the
to
rectal
help relax.
sensor. Yeah, he's like, I just need this.
Sometimes you need a little bit of a rectal center at the end of a long 36-hour day. By the way, it's Don Mattingly is what I'm thinking of.
I told you the truth. The sideburns.
He literally just looks like Don
what's
Mattingly.
His name? Don Mattingly, okay.
Yeah.
So he had a team of scientists this time that were above him at all times. And a chamber of the cave was packed full of gallon jugs of water and space meals from NASA that they kept.
Oh, MREs and stuff?
Yeah. And so he would be
Nice.
sent, and they'd send them down every once in a while, like to restock. And he had a library of books, a desk, record player, all of that. He also had a phone that he would call every day and report. So this video I found that everyone needs to go watch because it's truly the most 1970s thing you've ever heard. It's an hour long, but it's a fun thing to put on the background. But it shows
way
him
too
getting
long
ready.
I was like, it's way too long for
not
a reaction video.
No, we could do a little bit from it.
No, an hour seems like a long time.
But it shows all of his like day-to-day things, and it shows how he got ready for it, and it shows him talking about it and like, you know, discussing with other scientists, and it shows him walking up to get the water from the cave, the other cave little. It's just really cool but there's also all this music. You know that 70s music that was in like old documentaries that was like did not fit with the subject matter?
Couldn't
Do you
tell
remember that?
I don't specifically know what kind of music you're thinking of.
I don't know how to describe it, but it is so 70s. You guys, I'll put the link
Is it
and you
like
gotta watch
funk
it.
or something? Or is it like
no? No, it's like like sound effects, like.
Oh, I see. It's like weird Moog stuff.
You don't remember that video of the spiders that like took drugs?
No.
Do you remember the spider drug video? What? Reminded me of that. Anyway,
Okay.
So the first 2 months of this were fine. He was able to stay on schedule and have daily tasks and get up. He'd get up, but he'd, you know, eat breakfast, and he'd do the same thing every day to keep from going insane. He would read, he would write, he would research, he would plug in all of his like vitals and stuff so he could track it. But on day 79, his record player broke, and so did he.
Listen, when you no longer have headphones, you can't get anything done once you stop having music.
He took it really hard because
I would too.
And he was like, "What am I gonna do?" And pretty soon, most of his books had started falling apart from the humidity, and he did not realize that would happen. So he lost a lot of his books. He lost a lot of his paper, and he even began begging to be let to the surface because he was like, I can't be down here. But he had told them beforehand, he's like, do not bring me up for anything. There's no reason you should ever bring me up, even if I beg. Anyway, he begged. And he stopped talking to anyone on the surface. He just like went blank and just stayed in bed. Couldn't function. Ended up adopting very depressed. He wrote in his journal, "Desolation overwhelms me." And said that he felt pure despair. And he ended up adopting a little mouse. This is when it turns into a Disney movie, but like way worse. That he found this little mouse that was like stealing his food, and he started observing it and tracking all of its movements.
He's
and
like, "You're my wife now, mouse."
No, seriously. He would talk to this mouse. He would.
This is Wilson.
Yes, this was his Wilson. And
Wilson!
Wilson! Oh, and this mouse took his tooth out too. Just like, no, I'm just kidding. I was thinking that part of that movie.
I was going to say, just.
Ooh. I feel like I'm just like, do you have anything, like any questions or anything? I'm just rambling.
No, this is crazy. I'm just like, I'm like, this is wild.
Yeah, it's insane, right? So he finds this mouse, like maybe month 3 down there. And at this point, he has absolutely no concept of how much time has passed. Has no idea. Has started talking again to the people up top because this mouse gave him reason
helped
to
him
live.
through. Yeah, the mouse is like, listen, you really got to stop putting everything on me. You need other friends.
I can't carry all
too
this
much responsibility.
Weight.
Yeah,
like find a bat, maybe.
Yeah.
He also, speaking of bats, he also realized that like this cave was full of bat guano in like a powdery, dusty form because it was Texas.
So he's getting even more rich. Yeah.
He has to, right? But he's like inhaling bat guano, and. Yeah. Okay. I did tell you there's no excrement, but there's a little bit of excrement. So
that's no good. No, I'm just saying it's no good for him to be breathing in bat guano all the time.
No, it's not. And it wasn't constant, but like anyway, he would try to find ways to like walk around the cave, and he'd ended up just pacing a lot. And one day he was like, I'm going to catch this mouse so I can have it inside and observe it that way. And as he was trying to catch it underneath a bowl,
oh no,
he accidentally crushed it.
Oh no!
I know. Like, I almost cried. I was like, no. And it was then that he contemplated suicide. So this guy, who is very unbreakable in a lot of ways, was like, that's it. This is all pointless.
This is what isolation does to us, y'all. Don't do it.
This is why you can't go to space alone. Like,
yes. Also, why you can't have AI friends. You need real people. Right. You can't just make the mouse your best friend.
No. You can't hinge all of your mental stability on one thing, like a AI or a mouse.
Yeah, can't do it. Or an AI mouse even. Can't do that.
Please don't. It's gonna.
Hey there, I'm Mickey Mouse, your AI companion.
Hey, give me more money.
Yeah, it's pretty great inhaling all these guano fumes, isn't it? What if we were to use your anal butt plug meter for something a little bit more fun? One guy, one ball. Sorry, I was listening for far too long. I didn't say anything that was just disgusting. I needed to get it out.
I really appreciate the idea of him talking
I hope
to
I
Mickey
lived up to it.
Mouse.
Yeah, exactly.
You did. You just.
What if you killed everyone that you saw?
What if you killed yourself, Michel?
Yeah.
Take me out too, Michel. No, yeah. So he's talking this poor mouse. Like, I'm sorry, but if that had happened to me, I'd be like, that's it for me. This is it. I'm gone.
After the mouse died by accident.
Yes. Because, I mean, just the futility of it all, you know? And he realized that then he's like, oh, this is bad. This is bad.
He's like, yeah, I'm out of my mind.
I'm out of my mind, but I have to do this. And so he lasted for another 2 months.
Jesus Christ.
He did the whole 6 months. And he just said he paced all the time. He talked to himself. He hallucinated. He, was the saddest he'd ever been, and he said the time just warped. He had no idea when. He started kind of losing his vision because he only had that one light, and so he couldn't even it was anyway. So and people when he came back out, he was absolutely wrecked. He was like, I am never doing that again. I'm never doing that again.
I hope that people were waiting with antidepressants for him, at least.
That was the 70s. No.
Or was Mickey Mouse there to hug him at the very least when he got out?
Mickey was there. He was a hallucination. I got you a new butt plug.
Yeah.
This one has more.
Put it in.
Put it in. The reporters are like, who are you talking to?
Yeah.
I love the fact that you brought Mickey Mouse into this. This is amazing. So through all of this, it also took him months and almost years to recover because he came back out and his eyes didn't adjust to the sun. It wasn't like a day or two. It was weeks and months before he could be in the sun again. Mm-hmm. And that was just 6 months underground. Jesus. And he was depressed. He couldn't feel happiness at all. It was this just pure and deep misery and loneliness. And he was like, I'm never doing that again. He did do it again, by the way.
Idiot!
I know. Well, for 2 months when he was 60, because he wanted to see what aging would do. And he was like, yeah, it still sucks down there. And so many of those. So at the end of all of this, people were like, oh, this could be a thing I do. This is like a hobby, which started this whole thing called
become depressed.
See how long you could last. So
I could become suicidal and depressed as a hobby?
Well, they wanted to see how long they could last. That's it became this thing called cave sitting.
There's so many better things you could be doing with your time.
And for some reason, they're all Italian.
Really?
These cave sitters are Italian.
Is living in Italy that bad?
I don't know, but there's Beatrice Flamini. She was underground for 500 days. That's over a year. And she started hearing things. She could hear every little tiny sound ever. She started hearing auditory hallucinations. Yeah. And she started being like, I'm gonna go crazy. This is my tomb. And so she went and slept near the mouth of the cave and talked to one person, and that was enough for her to go back and finish the 500 days. Maurizio, oh shoot, what's his name? I misspelled it so badly I can't even figure it out. Maurizio Montalbini, and he had a video feed down there for 366 days in the 90s, and he smoked the whole time.
I'm like, that's kind of cool. I could get through it, just smoking cigarettes.
It's just hotboxing this cave.
Life is shit.
Yeah, I hate this.
He's French now, but whatever, he's Italian.
they go down to the cave
Life
and they all
is
become
shit.
French down there.
Yeah, that's actually why it's the French experiment.
French existential thing I've ever heard. Where it's just how depressed can I get?
Yeah.
And then we got Stefania.
Could have helped out a soup kitchen. You could have
right,
helped out at a children's hospital. You could have there's a lot of things you could have done. NASA could have given money to those people.
No, but they needed to see how long this guy could last in a cave. So then there's also Stefania Fellini, and she was in 130 days in a cave in New Mexico. And she was chosen for this because she had mental discipline. And she actually kind of was able to do it. She didn't collapse as much as other people were because she was deeply into meditation and stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, you just sound like a monk down there or something. They're just
Yeah, this is fine by me.
This is so we're doing.
And she had a computer and a guitar, so that's probably
She's
why.
writing songs. Yeah, she's like, I'm going to take this sample and write a guitar riff over it.
And this mouse friend, because she also made friends with some mice.
Oh, she did?
A lot of mice. Yeah, she did. Because when she got lonely, she was like, I'm talking to mice now, and grasshoppers and frogs. And she would decorate the cave when she was bored. And she started feeling gloomy. And her day turned into a 48-hour day as well. So over and over again, people have noticed that they all slip into this 48-hour cycle, which is really strange.
Wait, did Michel ever figure out why he didn't initially?
So here's the thing. It was a little bit flawed because this isn't an actually good experiment because
it's not.
You can't control for everything. You're in a cave and you're under like mental duress. So like and there's also like light. They brought light in there, which your body still responds to light even if it's not the sun. Yeah. So his body was like, "Oh, time to wake up because you turned a light on." Like, so there's like, and like some of these experiments they had less light, and so they were able to prove that we have an internal clock. But with Michel's, and he admitted he's like, "Yeah, I'm not like a scientist in that way."
Yeah, right.
I'm like
I'm not a scientist. I'm not exactly what you would call a scientist. Yeah, I like rocks.
It's like I like rocks and caves and
not sleeping and making friends
and
with
not
mice.
Sleeping. But time and time again, everyone had hallucinations, time warping and bending, loss of vision, depression, eyes not being able to adjust to the sun, 48-hour cycle, and loneliness, and increased dreaming. So the problem with his studies, though, is that, again, not controlled, kind of flawed. And so they found later that the 48-hour cycle thing didn't really hold up because a lot of these people ended up using lights like man-made lights or whatever, and you can't actually say you can't actually say unless you actually put someone in the dark for 6 months, which is ethically really messed up and they're not going to do. You can't really say if we have a specified cycle, but we do have one, I guess. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, he never claimed to be a sleep scientist. He was just like, I'm a speleologist and I like rocks. So, and I'm going to end with this quote from him where he says, "It is dark. You need a light. And if your light goes out, you're dead. In the Middle Ages, caves were the place where demons lived. But at the same time, caves are a place of hope. We go into them to find minerals and treasures, and it's one of the last places where it is still possible to have adventures and make discoveries." So I don't know if he forgot about the mouse, but that doesn't sound like it's a fun little... I mean,
probably tried to block it out. Yeah.
He probably was like, there was no... What mouse?
What mouse? Kill a mouse. I never talked to anybody.
The cave, I found treasure down there. Anyway,
Does he know that the mouse was real, or he potentially hallucinate all of that too?
Oh, that's a good question. I think he knew it was real because he did keep extensive journaling, and so actually I don't know. That's a good question. So that's him. He died in 2015 or something.
Okay.
But
in a cave or above ground?
Above ground.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah, and so that's this bizarro, and of course NASA was like, "This is excellent. We're going to use all of this for our space stuff and for the military, of course, and try to hack soldiers into being
figure out how to
soldiers.
Kill people better with this information."
Yeah. And Michel was like, "That was insane. We should never do that again." And yet to this day, people are still doing this as a challenge. So just recently in 2021, a bunch of people did it. And one more thing. They were talking about how COVID actually kind of mimicked the same study in that the reason why COVID time felt so warped is because we were completely cut off from other people.
Oh,
There's
interesting.
a huge social aspect to time perception that we didn't really realize was there. We need other people to ground us in reality and time. Yeah. Or else it all warps. Because you think about it, it's 2020 was it lasted a week and it lasted 8 years. Yep. It was one of those weird things. Anyway, so that's my tab on the Midnight Cave experiment and how insane it was, and
Dear Lord,
how you could do anything in the 60s if you had the money.
Thank you for that tab. I also don't want to think about that anymore.
No, never going in a cave.
Never doing that. Not interested in caves. Awesome. Thank you. That was fascinating.
How are we going to close our... What?
It's like fascinating. I'm sorry I didn't have more dumb things to say on top of it.
No, it was one of those ones that was just, how sometimes you do ones and I'm just staring at you the whole time.
Yeah, I'm just sort of like, oh no, just imagining the horrors. Let's see. How do we want to close the tabs?
Baseball. Just smack it right
Baseball?
out of the stadium. Yeah.
Can it be a home run of some sort, maybe? Like, yay! Make it positive.
Yeah, just like the pop of a baseball on a bat, and then cheer.
All right, let's do that.
Just
You want to go ahead and
whack
count
those
us down?
tabs out of the air. Yeah, let's do this.
Strike one, strike two, strike three. It's a grand slam.
All right, ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Home run. Knock it out of the
He's out of
park.
there. And we're moving on to listener emails.
You're first.
Okay. Our first email is from Dustin from Salt Lake City. This is a person I assume you know.
Yeah, it's Dustin, my childhood friend, Dustin.
Childhood. All right, Dustin. Dusty. Hi, Hannah and Kabe. I heard your request for more emails and knew you would enjoy this tab. I came across it while scrolling through social media and thought it had to be fake, but after looking it up, I found out that it wasn't just true, but crazier than the original post insinuated.
Ooh.
This is about the world's only taxidermied blue whale.
What? Okay.
The whale is housed at the Natural History Museum in Göteborg, Sweden. Göteborg?
I don't know.
The specimen is from 1865, and the skeleton of the whale sits separately next to its own mounted skin over a wood frame.
Oh, how do you taxidermy a whale?
The taxidermy was made so that the mouth of the whale hinges open and the inside has been fitted with benches, carpeting, and wall hangings and allows people to climb inside. The whale used to be open all the time to visitors, but after a couple was found having sex inside the whale in the 1930s, it was closed to visitors except on special occasions.
Dude.
I thought you'd like that. I'm going to send you the link.
I'll meet you at the sex whale.
Meet you at the
Everybody.
sex whale.
That's incredible. Here's the thing.
I was conceived
People have done this
at the
everywhere.
sex whale.
I'm named Blue Whale in honor of where I was conceived.
Bluey.
Bluey? No. Okay, let's see this picture. The world's only mounted blue whale. Oh. These pictures are insane. Someone's having a banquet inside of the whale.
Yep.
Dude, we're insane.
It's truly bananas. Yeah, this is really
This is
wacky.
nuts.
I love it. The craziest part of the story is actually how the whale was harvested. The whale was beached in 1865, and at that time, beached whales were slaughtered instead of being rescued. The fishermen who found the whale started the process by poking its eyes out so that, according to them, the whale would not be able to see what they were doing. Then, over 2 days, it was axed, speared, and shot until it died in a pool of its own blood. Dear Lord.
Dustin. This is such a Dustin
The next day, the
tab.
museum bought the whale from the fishermen and used three steamboats and 2 coal barges to tow the whale to Göteborg. When it arrived, Wilhelm Malm, the curator of the museum, stood on top of the whale's head and lectured a crowd on whales before they proceeded to harvest the organs and place them in barrels and treat the skin and baleen with salt. Over several weeks, the whale traveled around Europe for a time before being permanently placed in Göteborg Museum, where it still is today. If you were lucky enough to visit the museum on a special occasion, you may be able to go inside. Thank you for the awesome podcast. Keep it Josie, and see you at the Dickie Nixie pool party. Dustin. Wow.
Dustin, just a quintessential Dustin tab right there. I want to record an episode from the whale.
From the whale.
Yeah, from inside the whale. I bet it has okay acoustics. So whale, how was it being stabbed over and over?
I
Anyway.
think we're basically like Pinocchio. We could record a podcast from inside the stomach of the whale underwater.
I want there to be less child trafficking, though, because that's pretty much what
Inside the
Pinocchio is.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. That is kind of what that was.
Just child trafficking, yeah.
Stromboli and all that. Not Stromboli.
Yeah.
Was it Stromboli? What was his name?
I don't
Stromboli
know.
was the guy.
I don't
I haven't
like
watched
that movie.
Pinocchio since I was a kid.
Never liked it.
It's terrifying.
It made me feel sick to my stomach watching it. I was like, this isn't
Probably
right.
one of the scariest. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Oh, for sure.
deeply upsetting when he turns into
Yeah.
a donkey. I still have trauma. I'm going to go rewatch that. I
Oh.
haven't watched it in a long time.
I don't want to watch Pinocchio. Okay, mine is from Grace
Moving
from
on.
Florida.
Okay.
Hi, Hannah, Kava, and Alyssa. I was a big musical explaining fan and followed Kava
Oh.
over from there. Yeah, welcome. I mean, thank you.
Thank you, Grace.
My name is Grace. I live in Florida, but grew up in China. I recently found one of my favorite childhood candies at Walmart and was really excited about it. I looked up how old the candy is and spent a while on the Wikipedia article. The candy is called White Rabbit Creamy Candy, or Dabai Tu Na Tang, literally big white rabbit milk candy in Mandarin. I don't know what the tones are on that, so I could have said literally anything in Mandarin. I don't know what I said. I hope it was fine.
It's not like I'm going to know.
And has been in production since 1943.
Whoa.
For anyone, have you ever had white rabbits, by the way?
No.
Oh. For anyone who hasn't had them, they're soft, chewy, taffy-like milk candy wrapped in rice paper, which is edible, and a waxed paper wrapper. Fun. They were developed by a Shanghai candy factory called ABC after one of their merchants tried a milk candy in England. Initially, the candies were branded with a red Mickey Mouse, which is insane.
Mickey!
You brought Mickey into this because this is part of it. Unclear how this went down copyright-wise, but in the 1950s were rebranded with the iconic red and blue Art Deco-inspired packaging with an illustration of a rabbit and paint palette, as well as Chinese and English hand lettering. Some of my favorite packaging ever, photo attached below.
Oh, I feel like I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Actually, I have had this.
They're good. This
I've
is like a
definitely
childhood.
seen these before. Yeah.
Childhood staple for me because my dad would do a lot of business trips in Taiwan, and so he'd bring back bags of these.
I do not remember where I had it, but that packaging definitely looks familiar.
Yeah. You couldn't really get them. So the reason I liked when my dad brought them was because they were still soft. But when they're in like international markets here, they're like rock hard and they're not as good. So I always got like these like soft, nice. Anyway, in 1972, they were even gifted to the one and only, you guessed it, Richard Nixon. White rabbit candies.
Speaking of limp.
Speaking of limp.
Speaking of flaccid.
The
flaccidest man alive.
He is, look at him. He is flaccid in aura. His
definition
aura is
flaccid, exactly.
White rabbit candies are still one of the top sweets in China and are popular with many Chinese diaspora. If you see them at your local Asian grocery or Walmart, I highly recommend checking them out. Thanks for being my top podcast of 2024 and keeping me entertained during my keychain making madness. Oh. I don't know what that means. She probably makes keychains.
Makes some keychains.
I love this show. I love this show so much. Keep it, Josie. Grace. And
Grace.
This is weird because as I was searching for that National Geographic that I was trying to find, I came across an old thing of mine, and it's this tin.
Whoa.
A vintage White Rabbit candy tin.
Way. You gotta tilt it so they don't see the reflection.
Oh.
That's awesome.
So I've been using this since high school as my important, like my keepsake box. So there's like photos. I got like ultrasound photos. I've got my old ID cards. I've got notes and photos and letters. And so that's just been my little thing. And I was like, hey, I remember this thing. I haven't looked through it for a while. I know that. And then I opened an email and I was like, White Rabbit. Okay, perfect.
Follow the White Rabbit.
And that's also a really good song by, what's it called? Airplane People. What is it called?
I don't know who Airplane People are.
Jefferson Airplane.
State of Jefferson Airplane.
The State of
that's
Jefferson
amazing.
Airplane. Yeah. So thanks, Grace, for
thank you, Grace.
Weirdly enough, like lining up with like a thing that I just rediscovered. So
and thank you for being the having this be your top podcast that you listen to in 2024.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm not going to make fun of it. I'm just going to say thank you. I appreciate it.
No, I'm just going to say if you are also a person who is trapped in a cave for 6 months at a time and you like this podcast and you want to share an insane story about accidentally murdering a mouse that may or may not have happened in reality, please send us an email at 500opentabs@gmail.com when you come to the surface for Wi-Fi.
Also, just don't do that. Okay?
Yeah.
Or
don't live in a cave.
If you're going to go into a cave, if you're going to go in a cave by yourself, bring our podcast. And you'll go even crazier.
Yeah, I was going to say, you will unalive yourself. It will be done. The experiment will not last. Half of one episode in, you're like, this is not worth it.
We're like, what is Dicky Nixie?
Yeah, I don't understand. Additionally, Hannah, why don't you tell them what's coming up?
We got New York Comic Con in 2 weeks. Which is going to be great. Artist Alley, booth D33. Come and see us. We have new stuff. I'm assuming you have new stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have a few things.
Ooh, I'm gonna have my Pac-Man print finally. The one I did. For
I'll have my Pac-Man print as well because we were both in a Pac-Man show together.
We were both in a Pac-Man show. We're Pac Pals. Ooh.
Let's put them on the screen right now. Look at that. That one's mine.
Boom. There's mine.
And then there's Hannah's.
And there's mine. Yeah, I'll have some new, of course, hand painted stuff. A bunch of new originals that I've been working on. And just come see us. Come, you know. We have some stickers for 500 open tabs that you can buy. Anyway.
Yeah, I'll have some new originals. I have a couple prints that I'm going to be bringing. Of course, this is New York, so I'm going to have my mugs for the first time that I don't show on the internet. But they'll be there. I think the New York crowd's going to be really excited. I'll have some pins. Yeah. I'll have all kinds of new stuff.
Is special.
It's great. Yeah.
That's one of my favorite Comic-Con.
I think so, too.
I was going to say, also, we will have our own dual originals for sale.
Oh, right. We started doing those in Oregon. I forgot about that.
We started collaborating on art for the first time, and it actually ended up being really fun.
It was a good time because you were like, I've always wanted to be an inker. And I'm like, I've always wanted to not have to finish a drawing once I've sketched it out. And we were like, we can make this work.
Here's one we'll put up. It's Mira from K-pop Demon Hunters, but also the creature from the Black Lagoon. What is it, the creature from the Black Lagoon that we drew?
Oh, we did that too. How many did I do? I guess I just kept handing them off to you, and I was like, I don't remember. Classic me. I do a thing, I draw it, and then I was like, I haven't done anything with my life, and I just keep doing them, and they just keep piling up. And you're like, yeah, you're right. We did like 6 drawings while we were there.
And we're gonna do more probably. So those are gonna be there. So anyway,
those will be fun. I think those are gonna sell well, hopefully.
We'll see. You know what? No, nothing matters, and nothing's normal. And
that's true. Nothing matters.
No one's gonna buy anything.
What?
And who cares?
In all sincerity, what matters is community. Is honoring your roots, where you came from. If you have an idea for a cool, awesome thing that will break my brain, like restoring a baseball field and having an annual baseball game to honor this insane, horrific chapter in America's history, but also the thing that like made your ancestors, like kept them sane and alive, you should do that. Just by reaching out to friends and coming up with cool ideas. If you have one. If you don't feel bad. Just keep making good stuff.
And this episode, if anything, has taught us that community is everything. So don't isolate yourself. Even if things are hard, reach out to somebody. Even if it's just
and don't give up.
Even if you crush the mouse, don't give up.
Easier said than done. But the total accumulation of making good shit will hopefully be better than... Because here's the thing. There's so much terrible shit. The world needs more good shit. And if you're making good shit, keep making it. Doesn't matter.
The only way to combat all the slop out there is to make your own slop.
Make a human-made slop.
Like it's to stop creating is to give in.
Yes.
And so
don't give in.
Keep doing it, everybody.
Keep on.
Look at us. Weirdly positive.
That's like a cool sign off. Should be like, don't give in. Keep creating.
Don't give in. Keep creating.
Keep on opening. Keep opening tabs.
Opening more tabs and opening more minds. I don't know. If you want to send us a tab or some rabbit hole you've been down, you can email us at 500 open tabs or follow us at that. And please subscribe to YouTube.
We have the Patreon, the Discord, all the usuals. Thank you, of course, as always, to Alyssa. Alyssa, so many compliments on the episode a couple of episodes ago with the Lewis and Clark shits in the woods. Across multiple platforms, people were like, Alyssa did a really good job with that one.
It's like Alyssa has her work cut out for her. Let's just say that. Hopefully this one's easier. Ben Burt
of this podcast. Yeah, incredible job.
Alyssa is imagine if she was the Foley artist though. If she was just the one that had to make all the sounds. That would have been hell for her.
Oh, that would have been tough, yeah.
Go record some crickets and then poop in a hole in the woods. Anyway, let's end this on a good note, which was don't give up and keep creating. Okay?
Keep creating, everybody. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you at the Dickie Nixie Soviet pool party.
Yep. We'll see you at Josie, Nixie, Gwen Stefani tribute latrine.
Bye.
Bye.